Hi guys, so today we're going to be doing 7th grade lesson 2, functions and inequalities. So let's get started off with writing the equation or inequality. Okay, so number 1, the sum of 42 and a number n is equal to 51. Okay, so right away I know we're going to do addition because it says sum and I know it's going to be equal to something. And that something is 51. And the two things that go here, it says the sum of 42 and a number n, which means you add 42 and n. So our final answer would be 42 plus n equals 51 for number 1. Number 2, the difference of a number t and 7 is greater than 10 and less than 20. So the word difference means that we're going to be subtracting something. And it says of a number t and 7. So we're going to do t minus 7. It says is greater than 10. So that means we do this symbol right here and we put 10 here because whichever side that this sign is facing is going to be greater than. So knowing this, you put this sign right here and a 20 because this t minus 7 is less than 20. And that's what it just says. So our final answer would be 10 is less than 10. T minus 7 is less than 20. For number 3, the product of 9 and the quantity 5 more than number t is less than 6. Okay, so the word product means multiplication. So I'll put a 9 here and then just leave it here. And then the word quantity and the quantity 5 more than a number t. That just means 5 plus t because it says more. So that means we're adding. And we have to multiply 9 to this whole thing. So we put parentheses. And this whole thing is less than 6. So we put this symbol and a 6 here because we want this sign to face the 6. So our final answer would be 9 parentheses 5 plus 10 is less than 6. Okay, now moving on. Check whether the given equation is a solution of the equation or inequality. Number 1, 15 minus 4y is greater than 6. And we have 2 right here. So we just plug 2 in for our variable y, like so. And if there's parentheses, we multiply. So it's 15 minus 4 times 2, which is 8. And then that gets 7. 7 is greater than 6. And this is true. So this would be a solution because this because 7 is greater than 6 and it's true. Okay, number 2. R over 3 minus 4 equals 4. And the number we are given is 12. So again, we plug 12 in for R over 3 minus 4. Now, if this equals 4, then that means it's a solution. So 12 over 3 is 12 divided by 3, which equals 4. And then we do 4 minus 4, which equals 0. And 0 does not equal 4. So this will not be a solution. Number 3, x minus 5 over 3 is greater than or less or equal to 2.8. And our number we're given is 11. So let's substitute 11 for x. Do 11 minus 5 over 3. 11 minus 5 is 6. 6 over 3 is the same as doing 6 divided by 3, which is 2. And this is not true because 2.8 is greater than 2. So this would be an inequality. Number 4, 4z minus 5 is less than 3. And the number we're given here is 2. So let's plug that in. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 5 is 3. Is 3 greater than 3? No, they're equal to each other, so this would be an inequality. Now, identify the domain and range of the table and tell whether the pairing is a function. So we're given a table here with an input and an output. So the input would basically be just x and the output would be y. Now we have to find a domain and the range. Now the domain is going to consist of all of our x values, so the ones that are the input. And these would be 0, 1, 2, 3. And our range would be all of our y values right here. So it'd be 5, 7, 15, and 44. And to tell whether the pairing is a function, we can do a graph, just like a sketch real quick. And then this is 215 and this is 344. Okay, now we do a vertical line test. So we draw a vertical line going all the way down. And since it only touches the vertical line only touches the graph once, it passes the test, and that means it's a function. Okay, so for number 2, it's the same thing, so we can just put x here and y here. The domain are 1/2, 2/3, 3/4, and 3/4. And the range is 0, 1, 3, and 5. Now, another way to tell if this is a function is if we have any repeating values. So, are any of these repeating? We see that there's 3/4 twice. So that means it's not a function. And if we were to graph this, then it wouldn't pass the vertical line test. Okay, so make a table for the function and identify the range of the function. So we know that the domain is just the x values. So we'd put that on the input right here. 5, 7, 8, 12. And then to find the output, we are giving this equation right here to find the y. So we would just need to plug in all the x values to this equation right here. So that would be 7.5, 8.5, 10.5, 11.5, and 15.5. And that's the answer for number 1. And that'll be all for today's worksheet.